Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. I hope you're enjoying a wonderful day. We are going to be together for a very value-packed session today. So I'm delighted that you're here. I would suggest that at this point that what you do is get yourself really comfortable, because we're going to go through a session today that will have you experiencing a high level of certainty. So I have a question for you before we begin. Now, I will be opening up myself for any questions that you may have as well. So if you have a question, I'm definitely going to be answering questions today. So if you are here on either Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, because I'm on 3 platforms at this moment, let me know and I will definitely get to your question. Hi, Tamara. Good to see you here. I know we've got all kinds of folks. Fatma's on as well. Rita's here. Celine's over there on Facebook as well. So it's wonderful to see you guys here. Hi, Pamela. Nice to have you here. And Laurette, oops. Oh, what did I do? Okay, there we go. All right, Celine, can you just let me know that all 3 platforms are working and that they're all functioning properly as we begin our time here together? It's so cute, the thumbs up. Okay, Renata's here as well. Yay, Renata, thank you so much. I love your enthusiasm. Okay, so the question that I have for you is, are you ready to experience more certainty in your life? So the question is, are you ready? So I want to know if you're ready. So if you're on Facebook, you can type in yes. If you're on Instagram, you can type in yes, or whatever the answer is. Or if you're on YouTube, you can type in yes as well. So I see that we're already getting some answers here. Suzette says yes. Thank you, Suzette. It's good to have you here. And okay, great. Now the questions are coming in. Yes, 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 or the answers are coming in, I should say. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I want to tell you this. If you really pay attention to what I'm going to suggest to you in this very short period of time that we're going to be here together, absolutely confident that you can develop an even greater sense of certainty in your life. Now, you may or may not already be somebody who's already experiencing certainty, but I want to explain to you how you can have certainty and have that feeling be so strong within you that regardless of what's going on outside of the room or outside these walls or wherever you are in the world or wherever you're not in the world, that you can control your level of certainty. You absolutely can. And where that really starts is with a decision that you're going to. That's why I asked you, would you love to have more certainty in your life? Because if you said yes, which many people have said yes to, then you're ready to have that certainty. So it can be as something as simple as a decision. Now, what I'm going to walk you through are 2 techniques today during this time together that will have you experience an instant gratification or instant sense of certainty. And then I'm going to make a recommendation for what you can do to have a very long-term solution that has you embody certainty in your beingness, in your body, that will really, really help you complete things that you're looking to get done. It'll help you feel a great sense of relief or relaxation, knowing that whatever you desire is already done. So I'm going to talk about a long-term scenario, and I'll also talk about short-term gratification. There is a couple of quotes that I also want to share with you, which I really believe that speak to this idea of having certainty in your body. And the first quote is a quote by a gentleman by the name of Aldous Huxley. And Aldous Huxley said the following. He said that there's only one corner of the universe you can be certain of improving, and that's your own self. Aldous Huxley. Now, Celine, if you could maybe do a little search on that quote, find it. Aldous Huxley. It's Aldous Huxley, Huxley. There is only one corner of the universe you can be certain of improving, and that's your own self. If you can post that for everyone, because you may want to write that down. I actually suggest that you write that down. So even though we're in a world right now that is obviously in a very challenging situation, there are also opportunities. And there will be people that are going to thrive and are thriving even though we've got some real challenges that are going out there. And where they're thriving first is in their consciousness, and then they'll be rewarded for their maintaining of that attitude, that positive attitude, knowing that they're still manifesting goals, that they are still focused on their outcomes and feel the sense of certainty that they're already done. So let me ask you a question, another question. So I'm a woman, as you can tell. And if someone came up to me and they asked me the question, are you a man or are you a woman? It reminds me, there's a movie that was released a few years ago. It's a comedy, and it's a movie called Heat. And it's with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock. And they're both cops in this movie. And there's a scene where Melissa McCarthy takes Sandra Bullock to her family's home. And they're standing in the kitchen, and Melissa McCarthy had to go somewhere. And so Sandra Bullock's standing there with Melissa McCarthy's family. And one of the brothers of Melissa McCarthy, the role that he's playing in this movie, asks Sandra Bullock, like, are you a man or are you a woman? And she answers, well, I'm a woman. And he said, were you always that? Like from the beginning, from the get-go? And it's kind of a funny scene. It's a joke. My husband and I sometimes joke about that. But if someone asked me the question, are you a man or are you a woman? What would I answer? Well, obviously, I would say I'm a woman. And I would say that with certainty. There's no question there. I don't have to go look it up. I don't have to, go to a mirror and check or, touch my body and say, am I a woman? I know with certainty I'm a woman. Now, that's maybe an overly simplistic example, but we can actually create belief systems within us that when you think about yourself of being a success or not, and I say, are you certain of that? And you'd say, yes, I'm certain. Well, by being certain, create and generate much better results with that. And quite often when I've done these open Q&A calls on Facebook and Instagram, let's say that, and we're going to play with a very, very simplistic idea right now. And you can use this exercise, as I'm going to walk you through in a moment, phone case, but here it is. I'm using it for Instagram. My goal card is inside my phone case. You asked me if that goal is already done. I would say with certainty, it's already done. I have a knowingness within me. Now, when I first were to think of a goal that you have right now, whether it's a goal to have a certain amount of money that you would love to have right now, whether it's something that you would love to do, be, have in your life, and you think about that goal right now. So what I want you to do is to think of that goal right now and to type in either on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, whether you have that goal in your mind right now. Just type in yes, 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 I have that goal in my mind. I'm absolutely aware of what that goal is. Just type it in the yes, says Celine. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're going to get to some questions in just a moment. I just want to walk through this exercise with you now. Yes. Okay, good. You've got the goal. Suzette has it. It looks like Renata is there. Madison is on board. Hi, Madison. Good to see you here. I know Madison's all into goals as well. Whoever on the Facebook page, do you have a goal in mind? I want you to think about a goal. That's what I'm asking everyone to do right now. Okay, you have that goal. Okay. Now what I'd love for you to do is to imagine that goal has already manifested in your life. All right, just imagine it. Like really get emotionally involved in that as an answer. Like really get emotionally involved in it. Okay, so what's going on? What are you feeling right now? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling relieved? Are you feeling joy? Are you feeling gratitude? Are you feeling some other emotion? What are you feeling right now? As you think about that goal that you have for yourself, as if it's already done, elated is one of the answers. Okay, great. Elated is a great answer. That is a really good answer. I'm just going to put on my glasses. So joy, says June. Thank you, June. I appreciate you saying that. So for everyone else that's on the call, Rachel's here. She's a best-selling author. Well, she already was, but she just released her own book today called Courage. And I suggest you all check that out. I put a post on my personal Facebook page. The book is called Courage by Rachel Bazzi. You can go to Amazon.com right now and you can find Rachel's book called Courage. And so Rachel had a goal to be a best-selling author. Well, she already is a best-selling author. So the idea behind this exercise is, in a moment, you can think about the goal that you have for yourself, and you can feel the emotions as if it's already done. Well, when you did that, you created a sense of certainty. Now, if you let go of the idea just as fast as you accepted the idea, then you're no longer in certainty. It's like you get into the emotional state, and you embrace and fully embody that emotional state, but you must stay there. You've got to stay there and have that sense of certainty be something that you're building upon and building upon and building upon. And the way to build upon any idea or any emotion, which is really what certainty is, it's an emotional state, is by impressing it on your subconscious mind through space-time repetition, by continually doing things that are causing you to feel that connection, to feel that alignment, to feel the certainty that it's already done. But I'm going to tell you something, this takes time. And another quote that I want to share with you is a quote by Pablo Picasso. We named one of our doggies, our previous doggies, after Pablo Picasso. And this is the quote by Pablo Picasso. Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. And that could really apply to certainty. Certainty exists, but it has to find you working on that sense of certainty. I wouldn't even think for a moment of not being actively involved in building my sense of certainty every single day. Every single day. Every single day. I don't take a day off. I don't take Sunday off like some programs do, like Weight Watchers or whatever. I'm not saying Weight Watchers does that, but I know in some programs that people are on where they're really working toward an end or a goal, they'll take a day off or they'll slack off when they start to experience success. Should never, ever, ever slack off on these materials because it's your life. It's your life and it's your way of life. It's how you're living your life. So what you want to be doing is really impressing ideas upon your subconscious mind through space-time repetition that you are already there. Hey, Giselle, good to see you here as well. That whatever you desire is already yours. It's already done. So if you have a little bit, listen, inkling of certainty right now, great. You can build it. You can grow it. You can make it bigger, better, more powerful, as Arnold would say, by space-time repetition of ideas that are only supportive of whatever it is that you desire. So I do that using my Power Life script. I listen to my Power Life script every single day, multiple times every single day. You can ask my husband. He lives with me. He sees it. He knows it. I never, ever, 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 ever miss. And I know that my sense of certainty continues to get better and better and better. And I know from experience, my own experience, that I've manifested goals out of thin air, goals that many people would have thought were impossible. But that word doesn't go in my vocabulary. I don't accept that unless it's something that's, opposed to the laws of nature. Then we accept it. I can't go on top of the building and jump off and expect to fly safely to the ground, no matter how positive I am. I know that that is not possible. Although if I strapped on some wings and anyways, I'm not going to do that. I think you get the point, right? So certainty is an emotional state, and it's an emotional state that everyone has. Certainty is not something that's only reserved for a select few. Certainty is something that's available for absolutely everyone, that can be accessed at any time, and that can be very effectively used to have you manifesting your every desire, regardless of what's going on outside in the world. This is not the time to put your dreams on hold. It's not. This is a time to get a hold of your dreams, wrap your arms around them, give them some love, and give yourself that sense of certainty within yourself, knowing that your goals or your goal, whatever it is that you desire, is already yours right now. And you build it through doing the work, as that quote by Picasso. It's looking for you to be working. Certainty is looking for you to be doing the work. And when you're doing the work, you're building the certainty. And all this work that we're talking about, like establishing what your goals are, getting clear on your goals, connecting to your goals as if they're already here, is work. There's work involved in this. There's a process involved in this. And what a lot of people want is they want, bam, they want the result now. They want instant gratification. They want the goal to manifest. Well, you can have that emotionally. But when you have that emotionally, like imagining, like tapping into your imagination, imagining that it's already there, you've got to keep it there and lock it in and hold it with your will. I love it when Bob Proctor talks about that. Hold it with your will. That means that's what you're focusing on. That's what you're giving your attention to. And then the moment you find yourself off track, the moment you find yourself any negative emotion, this is a way to determine if you're off track. If you're feeling any emotion that's not positive, it would be frustration, anger, resentment, guilt, anxiousness, worry, fear, and we could go on and on and on. So all of those emotions are human emotions. Many people have these as experiences. Some people are habitual in those experiences. But on the other side of that are all the opposite or positive emotions: calm, faith, confident. All of those emotions are the emotions that you want to be shifting your energy to. And anytime you find yourself over on the side of a negative emotion or something that's destructive, you've got to notice it and you want to switch out of that instantly because it is doing damage. You get into a place of worry, anxiousness, fear. You're in a damaged place. It's a place that will destruct and destroy everything in its path. And I know it's not always easy. And I know that because when I think back to the 1990s, when I had made a decision, my son was 2 years of age and I was getting divorced from my husband, Charles, my first husband. And I decided I'm buying a home. I decided that I would have a home for me and my son, not just any home, a beautiful, beautiful, professionally decorated, gorgeous home. And I didn't have the money to do so. So logic would dictate it's not going to happen. I did not accept that as my outcome. I stayed focused on the goal. I became very clear that I'm so happy and grateful that I own a beautiful home, 4-bedroom, double-car garage in a gorgeous neighborhood, formal living room, family room, dining room, kitchen. I described the home and what it would feel like living in that home. And even though I didn't have any money and what some people would say no means of getting a home or getting any particular home, I did not allow that to influence me. I stayed absolutely laser focused on my goal. That's all I thought about. That's all I focused on. I had it written on a goal card and I saw my son and I living in a beautiful home. And then I ultimately ended up buying one without any money whatsoever. And the money came to me from a source that I was never expecting. I would have never even predicted that the money was going to come to me by that way. But that's the way it works. And I have found over the years, time and time again, that these techniques work on anything. But what I wanted to really share with you of that story of what I went through in the 90s is because I had some real work to do on my own sense of certainty, on my own believability factor. So what I did was I conditioned myself to really notice if I was ever off track. And I just developed this 3-step process. I noticed I was off track. Bam. Okay. I know I'm destructive right now. I'm in a destructive mode. I got to put myself right back on track. I put myself right back on track, asking myself, what would you love, Peggy? What would you love, Peggy? What would you love, Peggy? And there would be some days where I'd be asking myself that question hundreds of times because it was just conditioning, right? Just put myself right back on track, put myself right back on track. If you got in a car right now and you started driving down the freeway and you're headed towards like the embankment, you're going to hit the stone wall that's there. What are you going to do, right? You're going to look the other way. You're going to turn. You're going to turn toward the way that you want to go. You're not going to stare facing an obstacle or a block that you don't want to hit. But that's what a lot of people do. They're staring at the stuff that they don't want to have happen and they're thinking about it and they're giving it all their attention, going like, oh my God. And they're thinking about those things and then bam, they end up experiencing it and go, well, how'd that happen? What happened? Because that's where the attention was. We've got to shift our attention. I know there's stuff going on in the world. You got to stop thinking about why you can't and stop thinking about how it's done. and how it feels now that it's done, and really celebrate that and embrace that and connect to that. Because if you think about it, when your goals are materialized in your life, they're done. You've accomplished it. It's here right now. And you imagine that, right? You just imagine that for a moment. What you're doing is you're tapping into your imagination. You've tapped into your imagination. You've gone to a place, right? This place is here. It's made up. That's what I did. I went to a place of owning my home in my imagination. And then I conditioned it through repetition of embracing and embodying the feeling states of already having that which I desire. And of course, it manifested. It's the same thing I did for my New York Times bestseller. Here's my dog bone, my rawhide dog bone. I wrote on my dog bone that I'm a New York Times bestselling author. And just like a dog would do, they grab a hold of it. They're like, and they're going to bite it with their teeth and they're not letting go, right? You can try and pull it out of a dog's mouth and they're like thinking this is a game. And so when I decided to be a New York Times bestselling author, I not only wrote it on a dog bone, but that's the way I was living, as if this is mine. It's mine and it's already done. Not like a spoiled little kid, but just from a sense of gratitude, knowing that the goal had already been accomplished. That's how you create the sense of certainty. It's going to take some time. I mean, if you already have it, great. If you're somebody who's perhaps been using the Power Life script already and you've really been conditioning yourself, maybe it's already embodied into your system. But if not, start doing it today, because it doesn't get any easier than pushing play on my phone. Like I have it on my phone. I have my Power Life script on my phone. I have it on my computer. So I can either push play on my computer or push play on my phone. It's with me wherever I go. My phone is with me wherever I go. And I listen to it every single day because it's building the certainty within me. So regardless of challenging times in the world, regardless of whether there's recessions going on, pandemics, or whatever is going on in the world, there is one place, as Aldous Huxley said, that we are always in control of, and that's our mind. Nobody is in there making decisions on what you're thinking. Nobody. And if you're saying somebody or something is causing you to feel a certain way, you're giving your power away. You're giving it away. Take it back. It's time to take your power back. It's time to make these things happen in your life, regardless of what's going on in the world. I have not given up on my dreams. My goals have not changed. I have not adjusted my goal. I have not taken my goal from where it is to somewhere else. It's still the same. And I believe in it, and I know it's already done. It's done. So that certainty came from and comes from working on it every single day. Every single day. And so I've been doing this for years. It doesn't have to take you years. You can actually build that certainty just like we did a moment ago. Thank you, Celine. A moment ago, we were discussing having that sense of certainty just by imagining that your goal is already materialized in your life now. Bam, you did it. If you follow through on what I suggested, then you were there, 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 you were there. Do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. You don't have to just do it while we're on our call together here. Do it in the next 5 minutes and do it in the next 17 minutes and do it in 38 minutes. Just keep doing it. And if you want to have a really easy way, then get yourself a Power Life script and get a Power Life script now, because you're going to find that that process of having a Power Life script will impress these ideas on your subconscious mind, where you become so strong and have such conviction that you will know that it's already done. All right, already done. Okay, so that's how you get the certainty. Now we have some questions that have been coming in here. So I am going to go over to the questions that have been coming in. Some of your books, says Poptry. Some of my books. Okay. I'm going to just stand up and grab a couple off my bookshelf here. Oh, where I am, coming right back. Okay. Are you talking about my books? I know the question says, can I share some of your books? Are you talking about my own books or the books that I read? Okay, well, here's a book. And since we're talking about dog bone, this is a book that I wrote years ago. I self-published this book. And then Hay House bought the rights to this book, and it is a book that's available. It's called Be a Dog with a Bone. And the subtitle is Always Go for Your Dreams. Very, very good book using lots of dog metaphors. All right, we also have, this is one of my faves, 21 Distinctions of Wealth, Attract the Abundance That You Deserve. It's available as an ebook, a Kindle book on Amazon. You can check it out there. And this one is all about attracting wealth and abundance. Your Destiny Switch, which is a New York Times bestseller. And this one is subtitled Master Your Key Emotions and Attract the Life of Your Dreams. This book is in 37 languages. I absolutely recommend this. The books can be found on Amazon. Yes. And then here's another one I would recommend. I wrote this book with my good friend, Brian Proctor, and it's called Darn Easy: Work half as hard, earn twice as much while living the life of your dreams. So there we go. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's head on over to the questions that have been submitted in advance. There we go. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I saw a question somewhere. Maybe I didn't. Is there a question already that was submitted? If anyone has a question, you can type it out right now. Celine is here. She's going to be grabbing the questions and putting them over into a little question box for me. Oh, there we go. All right, great. Okay, perfect. Okay, I did see a question here somewhere. Can you please explain if the Power Life script will work on getting my health back? Thank you very much for asking the question. Yes, your Power Life script will work for anything. It works for health. It works for relationships. It works for money. It works for homes. It works for family members. I even include my family members in my Power Life script as well. So yes, absolutely. Power Life script will work on anything. You know, earlier today we had sent out an email to our subscriber base. And by the way, if you are not on our subscriber list, then we've got many different ways that we have. I'm laughing at the question. We have many different ways of us letting you know about certain things when we're doing free things. So today I created some recordings. They're free. And we sent out an email. So if you would like to get on our email list, what you can do is go to the manifestationtoolbox.com, subscribe. There's a whole bunch of free tools and resources in the Manifestation Toolbox. You can check it out. And you would be able to access, you'll be able to access those tools, and you'll be able to get informed on any new things that we're offering or giving away. So the question that was asked was from Tamara, and it says, are you working on a new book now? And it made me smile because I've worked on a number of different books. There's one book that we actually have had almost ready for a long time, and it's out of my hands. It's over into the hands of someone else. And I'm hoping to get that book released relatively soon. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a note on that to get that book out into the world. But I started a new book just in the last week, and I'm going to tell you guys about it. There's very few people that even know about this, and I'm going to ask you what you think of this idea, okay? So the title, or the potential title, is, and I've just started making notes because the idea sort of got a hold of me. So the potential title for the book is called Truly Flexible. And the idea behind it is to show you how you can thrive in your life, like by being flexible. Flexibility is so key for thriving in life and in business. And so I often tell people my middle name is Peggy Flexible McColl. It's actually not my given name. My given name is Elizabeth. It's Margaret Elizabeth, as a matter of fact, Margaret Elizabeth McColl. And so I'll tell people, I'll say, my middle name is Flexible, Peggy Flexible McColl, because you absolutely must be flexible. You must be flexible in life. I believe you absolutely must be flexible in business. We're always flexible. I'm totally flexible with my business. I tell my clients to be flexible as well. So I'm working on that. Now, I don't know whether it'll evolve into a full book or not. But it's an idea I'm playing with right now. So I've started a document where I'm working on that right now. Okay, so the next question that we have here is How can you work on vibrations to keep manifestations as an everyday practice? How can you work on vibrations? Okay, so and this is a really great question. I think it's an important question because our vibrations, what we're vibrating or how we're vibrating, is based on how we're feeling, right? So the best way to focus on your feeling states is to listen to a Power Life script. Like, I love listening to my Power Life script. It always puts me into vibration or puts me into the emotional states of being connected with my outcome, with my dream life, as if I'm already living it right now. And so another technique that I use to ensure that I'm vibration in alignment with my goals is I ask myself the question, what would you love? What would you love? What would you love? Or what would I love? What would I love? What would I love? What would I love? It's a question I ask myself all the time, especially if I find myself off track. And I'm going to answer one more question. We're going to call it a wrap for today. I will be back with you. Oh, Carmen has a question here about visualization. I'm going to answer two more questions. I'm going to answer Carmen's question and the other question that came in. And then we're back in 2 days. We're back Thursday at 4 o'clock as well. And on 4 o'clock on Thursday, we're going to be talking about flexibility. Actually, we're talking about flexibility, the key to thriving in life and in business. So that's our topic for 2 days from now. All right, the next question is, what do you find is the quickest way to switch your emotions to more positive ones when you're overwhelmed with sadness, fear, example, or you hear some bad news? The quickest way is to ask that question, that 4-word question. I suggest you write it down. The 4-word question is, what would you love? Or what would I love? What would I love? What would I love? Or if it is an example, like if you have heard some sad news or whatever, you can focus on the blessings in it. You can focus on what can I cherish from this experience that, can cause me to feel better in this moment. But I would especially I know a lot of people are really dealing with fear right now, and I would get out of that as fast as humanly possible because it's so destructive. It's such a destructive emotion. So the thing that you do, and I haven't been there, I'm not going to that place. And the reason is because I'm really focusing on what I'm focusing on. So focus on things that cause you to feel better. Focus on things that cause you to feel good. And if you're finding yourself focusing on things that aren't causing you to feel good, shift your focus. That's what I would do. There was a question here earlier on Instagram that said, can you please talk about visualization? And I'm going to wrap up with this question. I think it's a wonderful question. I really appreciate you for asking. I appreciate all you guys for being here. Visualization it's a mental faculty, right? It's really tapping into your imagination. It's something that's going on in your consciousness. It's really creating a greater sense of what are you choosing to see in your mind's eye. Right? If I asked you to close your eyes right now, and let's say that I know Bob uses this as an example, picture your refrigerator, right? Okay, so I see my refrigerator, and we actually have 5 refrigerators here, but one of my refrigerators, the one that I'm seeing in the kitchen, has some wood paneling on it because it matches the cupboards in the kitchen. So I'm seeing it. And so what you want to do is you want to create the pictures in your mind of the outcomes that you desire. So for me, when I had the goal of being a New York Times bestselling author, what would I see as a result of that? I would see the New York Times bestseller list, and I would see my name and my book cover on the New York Times bestseller list. I would see the cover of my book with the emblem, New York Times bestseller, right on the emblem. As a matter of fact, I've got some in my drawer that someone had sent to me as a gift. And this is a New York Times bestseller. And I could put the gold emblem on there. But what I did to visualize this as a New York Times bestseller is I put the gold emblem on there and I framed it. I framed the cover and I put it on my desk. I put it in my bathroom, put it in my bedroom, put it in the kitchen. I put it everywhere that I would see it in my home, multiple copies, so that I visualize it and see it. And so visualization is a practice or an exercise of really seeing your outcomes, your goals, as if they've already materialized, so that you emotionalize the experience, so that you connect emotionally to that outcome as if it's already done. That is really the purpose of visualization. So I've used visualization for purchasing things. I've used visualization for seeing myself accomplish goals. I've used visualization for attracting my husband who's in the other room. And even though I didn't know what he looked like before I met him, obviously, but I saw myself walking down the road in my imagination using visualization. I saw myself walking down the road holding my husband's hand. Or I saw myself, going out for dinner and he would open the door for me and close it as a gentleman would. And so those are the things that I visualize. So you want to create visuals in your mind that are in harmony with the things that you desire so that you can really impress the emotional state upon your heart or in your subconscious so that you really believe and know that it's already done. So visualization is also a wonderful technique. And I thank you for asking that question. It's a wonderful technique that can also help you build the certainty within yourself, knowing that whatever it is that you desire is already done. All right, great questions. Thank you so much for there. How often should we visualize, says Carmen? All day long, all day long. Just don't stop. Visualize all day long. And the best time to visualize is just before you go to bed. So just before you're drifting off into sleep, just ask yourself, now that my goal has manifested in my life, how am I feeling? And see it, right? That is the best time to visualize. All right, guys. Well, it's great to be back with you again. I really appreciate you. You're very welcome. We will be back again on Thursday. We're going to talk about flexibility and how you can thrive, how flexibility can help you thriving in business and in life. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Celine, for being here as well and supporting everyone. I really appreciate you guys. And come on back on Thursday. We'll have some more fun together. I'll answer any questions that you have on Thursday as well. We'll stay on the line as long as it takes to answer questions. And I'm here to serve you guys and help you in any way, in every way that I can. So thank you so much for being with us today.